You guys know I'm a model, I'm new to the city, transplant, don't even have a car yet, like still building up my life out here. Regardless, I expect my date to either pick me up or Uber me to the date. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date, I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Delicious iced coffee. Listen, guys, brace yourselves. No more wasting time. Let's get into it.
If he wanted to, he would. Hear me out. I went on a date with a guy last week, and it was a good date. We had a fun time together. He's a big-time lawyer. He owns 3 to 4 cars. He's doing really well in life. You guys know I'm a model. I'm new to the city, transplant, don't even have a car yet, like still building up my life out here. Regardless, I expect my date to either pick me up or Uber me to the date. That is just my standard. The first date, he was a perfect gentleman. He picked me up and everything. He calls me today for a second date. He wants to go golfing. I said, great. What time are you picking me up? He's like, well, it's out of the way to pick you up. I just recommend you Uber to me and then we can go on our date. And then I wasn't sure if he meant me Uber myself or him Uber me. So I hung up and I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm excited for Saturday, but just to clarify. He calls me up and he's like, can you clarify your text message? And I said, I was wondering what you meant by the Uber. Were you going to call me an Uber or did you want me to call an Uber for myself? And he said, I recommend you call an Uber for yourself. And I said, oh, well, since this is a date, I prefer you to Uber me or you can pick me up. And he's like, oh, well, I think you could just do it yourself. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date, I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber. The notion that it's too far or too out of the way for the date, it's an inconvenience for me because now I have to pay for part of this date. I have a problem with that. And when I think about it, you guys, like some women, my sister, for example, she won't even pay for an ice cream at the end of the date. And she's been dating her guy for a couple years now, but even the first few months of their dating, she refused to pay for anything. She didn't pay for anything. He was like, can't you just pay for an ice cream after dinner? And she's like, no. And guess what? She moves in with this man. They've been together for 3 years, about to get married. He picked that girl. He didn't pick the girl that was like trying to be nice and pay for her own Uber and pay for her own meal. No, he picked the girl that refused to pay for shit, refused to pay for anything for his ass, and he is in love. He's about to put a ring on it.
He's an idiot.
He pays all the bills. They live together. He pays for everything. And yet, when they first started dating, he tried to play her. He was like, oh, can you just pay for this? No, I'm not paying for anything. Take it or leave it. He took it. So if he wanted to, ladies, he would. Okay, keep your standards high. That's all I gotta say.
Wow. So guys, as always, before we get into my opinion and what I think about this topic, let's check out what the people have to say. Let's read these comments. So our first commenter says, I feel so bad because I couldn't focus on what she is saying because I kept seeing everything else. Everything else like what? We need more specifics, people. We need somebody in this comment section. So this is on TikTok and they're afraid to speak the truth because they are on TikTok. You know, people don't keep it real on TikTok because once you say something to offend somebody, they kick you off the platform, right? All right. So this next commenter asked, is she being real with 4 question marks? She wasn't sure, right? Is she trolling? Because, you know, everybody right now is sort of confused because she sounded like she was out of her mind. Let's just keep it real. Somebody responded to her comment and said, her standards are high. Sounds pretty real to me. Some people just know their worth. This is hilarious. And right here is just straight up female logic, right? Women are like, some people just know their worth. And what's that worth determined on? It just is determined on whatever you want it to be, right? You are valuable as a woman just based on what you think or feel on yourself. There's no tangibles. There's no standards. It's just a bunch of feelings. And everything that you see when you look in the mirror, right, doesn't matter. And that type of thinking is why most women are delusional, right? But they don't like that coffee.
This coffee smells like shit.
So somebody responded to that chick who said some people just know their worth and said, it's great she knows her worth, but worth does not have monetary value. This is another woman trying to remove a standard that's associated with somebody's worth. And it's kind of a contradiction, right? It's like if it doesn't have monetary value, then who decides the value? Well, the individual person. So in this instance, she wouldn't be wrong, right? Does worth have monetary value or does it not? Because I'll tell you what most men think, which is it does. Another woman responded and said, according to men, it does, right? Worth does have monetary value. A man will not provide for or spend on a woman he doesn't see as the one or see as worth it. Men love providing, which is true. Interesting thread there. Thought that was a pretty good conversation. Let's check out this next comment. This commenter says, effort goes both ways. Very true. Next commenter says, I think she's joking. This can't be real. I don't think she's joking. Next comment says, today I'm choosing kindness. See, he wanted to go in on her. Next comment says, are you looking for a date or a provider? I'm confused. She's looking for both. She's looking for a date and she's also looking to get it from a beta male provider, right? Next commenter says, girl, you can definitely pay for your own Uber even if you're on a date. I don't know where you picked up these quotations standards with the 2 laughing emojis. Very true. Another commenter says, I have mixed feelings on this. I totally agree with high standards, but I think this princess treatment should be within reason too. And guys, pay close attention. The sisterhood is very real. Women don't know how to call each other out when they see each other's entitlement showing, right? If you notice, most women won't say you're wrong and you're too entitled. Get over yourself, which is what someone needs to say in these comment sections. We'll see if someone actually has the balls to say it. Most women won't say that. They will usually try to disagree while still making it sound like, but there's nothing wrong with high standards. Oh, but not every woman thinks the way I do. No. Someone needs to call out women, and most women today don't know how to call each other out because, they have to stay on code. They have to protect that female empowerment. But at what point does female empowerment turn into delusion? At what point does it turn into entitlement? And that's the problem. This next commenter says, agree, but chapstick with the sad face. And so she's talking about the chick's lips, right? Hella chapped in front of camera talking about she's a model, but your lips look up. Let's just keep it real here, right? So this commenter says entitlement with 2 exclamation marks. Finally, somebody called it for what it is. She says, I mean, how much would that cost you? She's talking about the Uber. Was he asking you to pay for a flight ticket? No. Meals? No. Just Uber. Unbelievable. So I'm just going to call the elephant out in the room right now. And this is the truth. This woman is not fine enough to have this much entitlement. This type of entitlement is bad for any woman to have. No woman should have this level of entitlement. Doesn't matter how fine she is. But this isn't new, right? I see these type of videos all the time. I see women say stuff like, I want a man to pay for everything. He should pay for my Uber. I'm sorry. That's just the life I choose to live. And even though I won't be doing that for you, right? Even though I won't be spending money on Ubers and tricking and simping on you, I know some guy will. They at least know they can run into a guy and they have the leverage of their beauty because most men overvalue women. And just because she's pretty, they will let that woman get away with anything. They know that and they can leverage their looks. This chick doesn't have that. She doesn't. And this, what I'm saying right now, is what the women didn't want to say because women they have a hard time being honest with one another. Instead, they say things like, well, she knows her worth. And if she's being delusional, instead of telling her like, hey, you're really not fine enough to be making those type of requests, they'll be like, well, she just knows her worth more than I do. Nah, she's tripping. Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that mindset that's such a turnoff. I'm a firm believer that a man should pay for dates. I'm a firm believer of that. I think a man should work up to be able to focus on his money so he can pay for dates, so that that's not a problem. Matthew Hussey is a female dating coach, and he has these seminars. And for a little bit, he was really popular in the RP space. He said something when a woman asked who should pay for dates. He says, men really appreciate it when a woman doesn't feel entitled and even sometimes offers, right, to pay for dates. And I think this is across the board, from guys who are average earners, even, lower earning guys. They probably appreciate it more, of course, for obvious reasons. But even guys who are in the higher earning category, they don't want an entitled woman, even if he can afford that. Most men are not going to deal with that, right? Borderlining selfishness. A lot of guys want women to respect them and still do the 50-50 thing. Listen, women will not respect you as the leader, as the alpha in your relationship if you're not paying for dates. But again, the type of guy who usually can do that has options. And if he's going to choose, he's not going to choose this type of chick who's entitled unless he's a beta male provider, like her sister's boyfriend, who's about to make the biggest mistake of his life, who she talked about, right? And marry a chick who's literally seems to be as entitled as she is. Entitlement is a turnoff for men, mainly because we see it all over now. Like, all these women are entitled for no reason, right? You have a woman who's like a solid 3 who'd be just as entitled as like an 8, 9, or 10. And that is ridiculous. And some people might say, well, he picked her up from the date the first time. I don't think guys have a problem picking up a woman. Again, it's the entitlement. And I'll tell you what probably happened with this chick. The guy who she's messing with, the lawyer, was obviously desperate for some cheeks, right? And he probably did pick her up, and he probably smashed. That's what I think happened. And after that, he's like, hey, I got what I wanted. And this chick pretty much has nothing else to offer. The women that can keep stringing guys along and make those type of demands with guys who are out here tricking like that are usually women who are way above average attractive. And if you're not that, you are being delusional. That's just the truth. I'm just saying what everybody else in the comment section was thinking. But this is where it gets awkward for the female empowerment women. The TikTok woke mob is when they run into a situation like this, where they want to say something, but now they're going against what they believe. They don't know how to deal with somebody who is obviously overvaluing themselves. They don't know. What they won't do is call it out. And so they feed into it. Everyone's afraid to tell this chick how they really feel. If she was to get popular off this video, like if this shit went and like got on the Shade Room or some shit like that, you'd have everybody in the comment section saying like, oh, you're so beautiful. There's absolutely nothing you need to change. There's not much you need to do. People just need to learn how to be more respectful. When the truth is, if it was a man, they would let you know real quick. If you can't afford the date, then you need to go get a job, right? But they won't tell a woman, hey, if you're overweight, you need to go lose some weight. And that there feeds the delusion and the entitlement. As always, guys, I'm always curious to know what you thought of the topic, so leave your comments down below. I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, man, I'm out. Peace.
Why can't a man just tell me that he can't afford me? Just say it. Don't make excuses. Don't say I need to pull my weight. I need to do 50-50. I don't do that. You're trying to demean me, make me feel bad because you just can't afford me. It's okay. There's a girl out there for you. Go get her.